with the addition of property addresses. Property description, excuse me. I'll redo that. I did that for our RDA resolution 24-10 with the addition of property descriptions. Perfect.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved in second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. Okay, that's it for our RDA meeting, so I'll look for a motion to close our RDA meeting and go into our regular scheduled work meeting.
So moved.
All right, I'll acknowledge that. We need to vote on it, so I'll give Kim a second to close out her recording for the RDA and spool up her work meeting. Okay, good to go. Okay. We are now entering our Layton City work meeting for October 3rd. Our start time on this is 5:36. And we'll go ahead and start out with our various reports. My first item is the mayor's report. I will kind of report on a few items that I'm aware of. One is regarding the sewer district. I do know that we've been dealing with our construction over there on Hillfield Road, and now we're out just below Sizzler in that corner. And it's my understanding, I don't know Steve's back there, but they're almost near with that project. From what I'm hearing, there's only about 300 feet
I think
max.
yeah, getting close.
Yeah, so hopefully that one will be done. On that particular project though, I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but I did get a call from the district manager and to let us know that they were bypassing, the system, the sewer system, so they could work on it, and apparently there was a backup that affected a couple of the businesses, but they were on it extremely fast and was able to take care of it and handle it quickly, and really the compliments also go out to Layton City, because Layton City, our guys were willing to grab our back truck as well and go out there. The district had theirs, but that made all the difference in really mitigating what could have been a serious issue. So they just wanted to say thank you to everyone here. So I just wanted to express that so you guys all are aware of it too, and that I just sincerely want to say thanks to Layton for helping out on it. And also know that they're working on they're at the final end of the plans for the Fairfield system as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Communicate with us on that as well.
Yeah. I bumped into Whitaker the other day, and they said they're pretty excited about that. They know that one's coming up, and should be they're on the final phases of what he kind of informed me. As far as Wasatch Integrated Landfill, I got an email, and I'm sure some of the others might have too. Well, basically all the cities, it went out to all the cities asking that back when they went for this recycling program, they made it clear that there was grant money available to pay for the recycling cans. And once they adjusted the resolution to where it did not make it mandatory, now everybody has the option to opt in if they're going to do their program. So now the district is asking, okay, any cities that's willing to participate, please let us know so we know how much of that grant money is available or that we need to go after, because otherwise they need to give it back because it won't be used. So that begged the question, well, if we decide to do something later on, is that money available? And the answer is yes. We'd have to apply for it on our own. That's the only difference. So I guess they're just asking, what's the game plans from all the cities, what that boils down to. And at the same time, they've been doing a lot of posts socially on benefits of recycling and why you should recycling. And in addition to that, they've been trying to just promote the overall landfill. So they extended, they're saying, you're welcome to take those, use them, but certainly if there's anything in particular that a city would want created, that they're willing to help create that, whatever, for our benefits. And that even if it's green waste, whatever program you want to do, but just saying that they have that available now. Myself, I did have a citizen reach out to me regarding the fee structure. I mentioned that this has been a while, but they went to just a $10 flat rate for the trucks, anything under 10,000 pounds. And apparently, one of our citizens had been there for a while and had a trailer, a single axle trailer plus the truck, and was doing some yard work, basically flipping a strip, so he had a lot of green waste on there, and it exceeded that 10,000, and he was pretty mad because he got charged more. And when he came back through, he figured out the weight of his truck and trailer alone was about 300 pounds, so that only went about 700 pounds, yeah, so he's challenged me to say, hey, can you bring that up and see what we can do, so I'm curious what your guys' opinion is on that as well, so make sure I represent, I'm willing to do that. I think it's something probably ought to be taken into consideration, because, he just had an average truck and a single axle trailer and doesn't get much weight there.
I've had to do the same thing just because I have a heavier pickup.
Yeah.
And when I've gone in, I had a single axle trailer that I was dumping, but they made me weigh it, and I paid the tonnage weight instead of the $10
Yeah.
because the truck weighs more.
Do you pay on the truck weight?
You pay on the, no, you pay on
Just
the weight,
on-
you don't.
So your weight, you weigh.
I don't remember the cost, but it wasn't $10, it was over $10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. it was.
So, that's something to consider.
Yeah, like I
It's
said, every
the
time.
idea, I'm sure there was an idea when they talked about single axle or a pickup, but trucks
Well,
are
the
heavier.
idea behind it was they were getting so many folks from other cities and counties that was coming in and dumping here because it was so much cheaper, even with them having an out-of-city license, it was cheaper based on the tonnage, on what we were charging. So that's why they kind of wanted to help mitigate a lot of those outside sources coming in, or make sure they
Or
get.
commercial.
Yeah, or commercial.
Yeah.
But, so that's why they went with this one
I
flat
wouldn't
rate.
have a problem doing something for residents, not for non-residents.
Yeah.
No. As far as I'm concerned, they pay whatever the scale is, and I didn't mean that the way it sounded, but, But as far as our citizens, if there's something that's a little more fair, I think that would be fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, our next meeting isn't until November 3rd, I think. I'll bring that up, just as an item and kind of see where it goes, but I was just, curious on you guys' opinion as well. I just have 3 other items real quick, like, one is, tomorrow there's a couple of grand openings that, I need to make you aware of, if you haven't seen them already. I know I mentioned the one which was the well-groomed pets, that's at 4 o'clock. They are not a chamber member, so they won't have all the hoopla, so it'd be kind of good if we show the support on behalf of the city, but, to welcome them into our new business here. And at the same time, Krispy Kreme is having theirs, and theirs is at noon. So there's 2 different ones there that we could attend. Saturday, I actually have a couple of tickets for the morning session of conference. So if any of you would like those, please let me know. We got a pair of tickets that we can use, possibly 4. So, and then the last is our Veterans Day Parade. That's going to be November 9th, and I know we participate as a council. So I wanted you guys to have that on your calendar, make sure you're aware of it, and curious if you want to do something different other than the fire truck or not. Just do the fire truck. Okay, that's it. So I had quite a bit there. I'm going to turn it over to you guys then and have you report on any of your committees.
No?
I always have something.
You got something, come
I
on.
always have something. I don't know if you all received the email from Carlene about the youth court results. I'm not sure who she sent it to. I just wanted to make sure that you got it. Okay, cool. So there was 97% compliance this year, which I think is still amazing. But I wanted to make sure you had it. And then also I had an update from, I think last time I talked about the summer program that the CTC funded for the community schools. We have a report now, but I'm thinking I'll probably have Megan and CTC maybe come and do like a report out for the council, just to get an overview more of what we do and what's going on. But that summer program was able to serve 137 students at Bayview and Hillfield Road during the summer, or not Hillfield Road, Hillfield Elementary during the summer. They had a number of activities. It was considered a summer program / summer camp. So they had, like cooking and lots of different things that they did. The other thing, I was invited to go to the Circles Davis County Big View meeting last week. Circles meets I think once a month. And this was one where they invited local elected officials to kind of field questions of the folks who are participating in the Circles program. And a lot of people in the Circles program are trying to get back on their feet, and kind of integrate into society and just learn about resources and what they can do. And so there were questions about things that your city does versus the county and the federal, and the different levels of government. So I was there. Also, Dakota, council member from Clearfield, Carrie Ann Lisenby was there, and also the council member from Syracuse. I don't remember his name, but anyway, that was a nice time to just meet with residents of the county, some have been in our city and some not. But Deneen was there from Open Doors as well, and they do like a dinner and things after that. The last thing, I went and toured the teen center because I didn't get to go when we had our scheduled time. But I went and toured that, and if you haven't gotten to see it yet, I think you should go. It was really nice, eye-opening, and they're grateful for our support. So anytime you're around, just stop by. That's what I did. I was on my way back home, and I'm like, let me stop in here. So I stopped in to kind of check it out and just let them know that we're here, if they have questions or whatnot. The last thing, I had a question for Dave Price. I'm just going to throw this out there. You don't have to answer it now. But flag football is co-ed, but there's like less than one girl per team. I'm just wondering.
How can you have less? Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering, and Alex, you can probably fill this also. I know that there is a method to determining when you have, all girls and all boys per team. Like you have to have enough folks before you're even looking at that. But I just want to know if there's ever been an effort to advertise that flag football is co-ed, because you're not going to get the interest if people don't know that it's co-ed, and very few people do know. And I'm bringing this up because my daughter absolutely loves and wants to play. And then I've talked to other parents just as my kid's in flag football, and they're like, yeah, I have my daughter, one resident, I think she's on the Parks and Rec Commission, her daughter's played for like 3 years, but she's still, there's like maybe one girl on any other team that she ever sees. I think she said there's only 3 girls in her age group. And so I know that with the NFL sponsoring it this year, which by the way, kudos, these jerseys have been awesome.
Been fun.
And also watching the commercials for it before the Olympics, flag football is becoming a really big thing. But it's another opportunity for girls to be involved in sports. And I'm just wondering if that's something we can talk about, maybe promoting it more. I mean, I would love for there to be a girls' league, but I know you probably need to know that there's interest before that can happen. So I want to know what's the pathway we go through to kind of get to that place where the girls who are on these teams don't feel like, well, I'm not going to do it because it's just me.
So the flag football is co-ed, like you said. I think we could probably do a better job of advertising it as co-ed. That's a good point. the pathway to two separate leagues would be just gaining the number of kids that we need. And it does take, to be able to have a competitive league with multiple games, with multiple teams, it takes a few kids. And so we can continue to look at that, but I think the first step, as you pointed out, is just to get the word out there.
Yeah, so I'd like to see us work on that. I'm happy to work with you, but I think if we could promote that for the next season so that more families, parents, and girls know that this is for all of you, like everybody can participate. It's more like intramural sports, and everybody that plays that I've talked to absolutely loves it, so.
Like ours played forever. But one thing you could do is you could put like speakers on your car and then go around the
And
neighborhood.
just drive around, yeah,
Hey, you get a
like popsicles and ice cream, yeah.
That's how we used to advertise. Don't laugh.
I know you did.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What did you have?
Yeah, just, I shouldn't say just, the ramp grant application period is open until January 2nd. And the ramp commission, so Dave and Kimberly and Cameron and Denise had an informational workshop that they put together and recorded yesterday to answer questions and talk about ramp and to help those that
That's good.
to know how to navigate and what to look for.
Yeah.
And one of the things different this year is that if your application is submitted by the first part of November, is that right?
I think it's the 17th.
Of November, it'll get reviewed for accuracy and completeness, and they'll even say, hey,
You get a second.
yeah, absolutely, so to help with, and we're not trying to say no to things, but to help the application process, so I think that's really good.
What was that date again? November what?
17th.
Yeah, I'll have to double check.
Double check.
Oh,
17th.
sorry.
They can continue to turn in applications up until the new year, but that's the time that allows us to have a review and sit down with them.
Yeah.
One of the improvements they're making in the commission to help the applicants so there's no surprises. Well, they're like, I don't want to get it, because your application was, like, well, you told us. Well,
You didn't sign.
yeah. I'm trying to help. That's it.
That's good. Okay. Are we good on reports? All right, well, those are good. Thank you, you guys. Let's go ahead then and move on to item number 3. And Steve Jackson's gonna dive into this for us regarding the
Did you?
Board of Water Resources and the American Rescue Plan.
Mayor Council, it's good to be with you tonight. Real quick, Alex asked me to address a couple of items before I jump into this secondary metering grant. The 2200 West Crosswalk. Some updates real quick. 2200 West Crosswalk in Ellison Park. Concrete work is all complete. The black hatched area right there is actually pavement that needs to go down. That's scheduled for Tuesday. And then our crews will put in all that striping, and the flashing signs should be up by Wednesday and Thursday this next week. So that will be fully functional and ready to go. So if you have any...
So we won't be taking sidewalk beyond that?
Not right now at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still an undeveloped field, and the property owners, would make that
Yeah, I
determination.
understand, but sometimes kids should or shouldn't, I don't know the term, but they come down Gordon, cross it, and
Yeah,
then come down
and
the other side.
hopefully our crossing guards are helping them stay
Well,
stay
yeah,
on that,
I mean,
stay
yeah.
on the east side and then cross at the
Yeah.
crosswalks.
The kids are kids.
Yeah.
I rolled by, I don't know, it was yesterday or the day before, and Dad and his daughter were already using it. I mean, it's not a crosswalk yet, but they were.
We
using it.
actually got an email on that, and they said, you really should put a crosswalk in here, and you should do that.
They were already using it.
Okay,
That's
hey,
great.
well, that's a good idea, let's do that.
Because that sidewalk goes straight,
Yeah.
it goes right
Yeah.
to the for the school.
Yeah.
And
They'll be really impressed on how fast government.
Like,
works.
wow!
Once it goes
It'll be
up.
great.
That's
You
right.
guys are so fast. Yeah, it's
Thank
been
you for the suggestion.
over a year.
Yeah, so that was the first one. The second one, we talked about the Valley View project. We've run into a few issues on the sewer replacement or repairs up there. We actually found 2 old creek crossings right in the middle of where our repairs are, so it slowed us down. In talking with our pavement contractors, it's prudent for us to delay the paving portion of this until next year. So we're gonna finish up all the sewer and the water repairs that need to be done. We'll put a temporary patch back, and then in the spring, we'll come back in and we'll remove all that pavement and then move forward with all of the paving. So I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's better for us not to open the road right now and then have a mess up there all winter long because we can't get the pavement done in time. So that's kind of the updates on those 2 items. So Rick Smith is here. He's the general manager with Davis Weaver Canal Company, and I want to acknowledge him. He's been actually pretty instrumental in this grant. So the ARPA money that was given out for secondary metering projects was actually, they changed some of the rules, and so I think there was $25 million, I believe, returned to the state as far as not needing that money from other projects. So they adjusted some of the I guess, criteria for us to be able to apply. We actually maxed out our first tranche of money. Rick made us aware of the second tranche of money, and then because we're working on the acquisition of their secondary system here in Layton City, we got together and felt that it was prudent to try and get this system metered and get the 65% of that funding. So we reapplied for a second metering grant. It's about 1,400 meters at $2,500 a piece, so it's a $3.5 million project. And I'll scroll down here and show you the system. So Davis Weaver Canal Companies has a kind of a system up there in the northeast part or northwest part of the city over there by Gordon Avenue. And then there's also a service area down in the southwest corner of the city down by Cave Creek Estates and River Lane. So we felt like it was prudent to apply for the grant funding because it is allowing us to have 65% of the funds paid for out of ARPA. The city, with some of the other grant funds that we received, felt like we could cover this $1.2 million in additional costs as we go. We have until 2026 to finish up the metering, but we need to have this money committed by the end of this year, in December this year. So we did receive a letter from the state that awarded us this grant for $2.284 million. So we anticipate working through the paperwork on that with the state, and then also an agreement with Davis Weaver Canal Company. Clint and his team have been working on that draft agreement to be able to also finalize that acquisition of the system as a city. So
I just noticed quickly that it was for spring and winter of '26. It has to be done by the end of '26?
yeah, the money has to be spent by the end of
Oh, the
2026.
money has to be spent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so our contractor that's
Yeah.
currently working on our other grant is starting back up again in October. Well, it's October now, but once the water turns off, and so they're anticipating just continuing through with these extra 1,400 meters. And, the good thing about this system is that all the connections are in the front yards, so it will probably go a lot faster than the
Oh,
ones
really?
we're working on right now. We got a lot of backyard connections, so.
So the last, when you started the project, it was money from the state, wasn't it?
No,
It was
it's-
grant money from the state,
It was still ARPA money.
but it came through the state
Yeah.
spring to
It still
this.
came through the state.
And then the state offered a loan money.
And then there was a loan option that went with that first one. There's a loan option with this as well. We felt like financially that first option, to give us some flexibility, we needed to go after that loan this time. And talking with Alex and our finance group, we felt like there was an opportunity to cover this because we've received another couple of grants, one for $5 million and another one for $2.5 million. So we felt like financially we didn't need to go borrow more money with.
But that was only at 1% though, right? If I remember right, I mean, it was pretty cheap money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
but it cost quite a bit of money and time to try and finalize that loan, and we were were concerned we weren't gonna get that taken care of before the deadline. That was the big push with the state, was all this paperwork has to be done by the end of December or else this money goes away, so.
All the grants previous though have been towards the Case Creek portion of secondary, right? We haven't talked about Davis and Weaver, have we?
No,
As far as the city's
Yeah.
participation.
Yeah, well, just from a general, the point, the intent was to move forward with acquiring that system as well at some point, and this seems like a good time to do it and finalize that paperwork, so.
Is there any portion of Davis and Weaver inside the city that's already metered?
There are a few, is it a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, about the 200 Newton under construction.
Yeah.
That have
Anything-
happened since the bill passed?
Yeah, since.
Well, even since 2013, we've been metering.
Okay.
Yeah,
So is this 1,400 then, is that gonna pretty much cover all of the
yeah, that will
connections that
cover,
we know of today?
yeah.
Right. That's good.
Anyway, so there's nothing to decide right now, but the paperwork will come through and we'll have to process that once the state gets everything going, but I can't remember how many. Rick, do you remember how many projects just got awarded on this last thing?
The last round,
Yeah, I mean, they just gave out another $25 million that they need to get through all the paperwork on, so.
it was over a dozen at least.
Yeah, so we anticipate that they'll get that paperwork done and then move forward for, obviously before the end of the year.
Yeah.
How's so the big reason for metering was the conservation.
Yeah.
Are
We've
how-
seen.
How are we doing?
Well, it's still tough, but right now we're still working, part of this grant, the initial grant was the AMI meter reading system, so we've actually got our installers coming to install the meter, or the radio reads that will read those meters next week, and so for the next couple of weeks, they're going to be doing that, but.
So we'll be able to
So
measure.
we'll be able to measure that.
Springtime?
Yeah, springtime is the goal, to get that system up and running. And right now, we kind of have been manually reading them at the beginning of each season and getting those numbers.
Well, kudos to you too, for Rick, for bringing that forward and understanding the, the additional funding we can go after, so thank you.
Yeah, for us, it didn't make sense to put $3 million worth of meters that the city would have to replace later on,
Yeah,
since we have two different systems.
yeah, no, that's good, we appreciate it.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What about shut-off dates for all of the secondary systems in the city,
October 15th.
for everyone?
Yeah, that's on time. Any other questions I can answer?
Okay, very good, thanks for the update.
Steve?
Okay, well, that was quick. Mr. Price? I think you and Joellen, or you are going to give us some updates regarding the park shop and probably anything else you feel like we need to know. We got time tonight.
We simply have been making quite a bit of changes and progress down at the park shop. And Joellen Grandy is our project manager on this, and she has just been tremendous. She has held these contractors and architects to the line, and questioned every change that they've suggested. But she's doing a great job, and so I'll let her walk through this report with you.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, Mayor and City Council members. I just want to start out with thank you. We are extremely grateful for this project and for funding it. We are extremely excited to be able to move into it and to be able to utilize it and stretch our legs out of our workshop that we have right now. But anyway, we're very excited to walk you through this as a virtual tour, I guess you could say. Down in the left-hand corner, that's part of our team. We have our CERC construction members on the far 3 end, and then our Design West architect, one of them that I snagged a photo from them. So we're grateful for them and for their hard work. All right, so first of all, we'll start out at Ellison Park Shop. I have photos, and then in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll have little thumbprints that will show you where you are so you can kind of get oriented. But this is our view of the Park Shop facility as you're coming into Cold Creek Way, into the main entrance, into the facility in the parking lot. And we have about 40 stalls that will be in that graveled area. They'll be used for our staff members, and then when they're gone, it can be open to the public in the evenings. And then this is a view of the south side of the building inside the yard, and we'll go through a tour of all of it, but this is basically the admin or office section area, and then onto the left is where our bays and service maintenance areas are. And then this is a plan view of the floor plan, and I will take you through it along the way. So welcome to the Park Shop at Ellison. Put on your hard hats and your vests, we're going for a tour. This is our main entrance into the multi-purpose room. So this is a very nice big space where we're able to have tables and chairs set out. It'll be where all of our park staff will be able to have their breaks there and trainings. We'll be able to have everyone gathered into one space. There'll be a TV screen available to provide trainings for them, and just nice open space for everyone to feel comfortable. This picture down here at the bottom is the kitchenette area, so you can imagine like your basic kitchen with your fridges and microwaves, countertop space, sinks, etc., drinking fountain area. As we move from the space that we just went to and go over into this yellow L-shaped area, these are where the offices are located. Those are for all of our foremen and our supervisors. And I believe we have 4 or 5 offices available for them. Moving to this next area that's in yellow, on your left is a conference room. There'll be a nice big table with some chairs. It'll be a great space for when we have construction OAC meetings that we'll be able to gather. There'll be a TV screen there available so we can have our gatherings for projects that we're working on. On the right is the print map room. All of our maps that we have from whenever we started, we'll be able to finally have a space for them to be organized, neatly put away. We'll have all of our owner manuals and folders that we have that keep track of every single item that we purchase in shelves and nicely tucked away. Along this wall here will be a copier and desk for doing time cards, and open for any of our seasonals to be able to use. This next space, we're moving to the back. This is called our enclosed storage area. In this location, we'll be storing a lot of our splash pad equipment, our canopies that we put up during the summer for our pickleball, shade structures, irrigation equipment will be in here. You can imagine that we'll eventually have rows of shelving where we can have a place for everything. And then along this wall here on the left-hand side, you can imagine there'll be lockers all along that wall, so our staff will be able to have a place to put their personal belongings and keep them safely tucked away while they're at work. These 3 rooms in the back are our paint room, our ball field room, and then our miscellaneous storage room for other playground equipment that needs to have their own little space to be tucked away. And now, we've moved back into this area. We are into the bays. So on this far right-hand side, this space right here is for our mechanic. You can imagine if he was to walk in here, he'll have all this fluid stored along these walls, and then if you go back, it's kind of dark, you can't see it, but that's where his office will be located. And then we also have a tool room space for that, for him to be able to put all of his hand tools and everything organized. We have a drinking fountain right here, and then a restroom, there'll be a shower in there, single use space, and then we have our compressor room, and just a lot of mechanical stuff in that area. Along this wall, if you were to go up some steps, there's a mezzanine above, and this is where a lot of the auto equipment will be stored, tires, we also have some of the mechanical equipment up there as well. And moving to this next one, we're just stepping back. So that's where we were before. We have all these service bays available. You can see this is our bridge crane that is being assembled. And that will help us to be able to bring the vehicles in, and if there's anything heavy, we'll be able to lift those out safely and be able to service our vehicles. Yes?
Are there any, are the lifts hooked to the ground, I mean, to the cement?
We have lifts, we have a lift area, it's just right over in here that will be
okay.
installed. And then right next to it is
Oh,
the
okay,
oil
yeah, nice.
bay, pit bay.
Okay.
And then over here on this back wall, this will be a welding space. And then we have wash bay equipment storage in here. And then all of our oils, hydraulic oils, and your just general oils will be stored over here. And then on the other side of this wall is the wash bay area. And so we're very excited to be able to place to be able to clean off our mower decks, cars, trucks. There'll be this platform along this wall that they'll be able to get up onto and clean the tops of their cars as well. And then on the far east side, west side of the building, we have two other rooms. The one on the left is the smaller one, and this is where our mower, our weed whackers, our backpacks, chainsaws and such, and gasoline will be stored in this space. And then the larger one here to the right is our pesticide room, and all of our herbicides will be stored. And then now we're outside the building, and these two blocked areas that are yellow, these are our covered canopy storage areas, where we'll be able to put all of our vehicles in a protected space, mowers, carts, everything will have a place to be put. And they're very similar. We have some on the south end and then some on the west side. And then over here where you can see temporarily there's the honey buckets and such, this will be our soil bays, where we'll be able to put our green waste, our dressing for our ball fields, salt bays, all of that topsoil, our bark for our playgrounds, all the space over there. And then here in the corner, this is our cold storage area, specifically dedicated to our recreation division. I've got a plan view that shows you what we plan to have this laid out inside, but we have two openings. Those will be for our float storage areas. And then we have another one that will be for their carts. And then here's just a snapshot inside. It's pretty open right now. But here's a plan view of what we're hoping to have it look like inside. So you can see we'll have some shelving on both sides and then some larger shelving on the back. And then you can see those are floats in our trailer parking. Thomas, I'm glad you're happy. And then just a little sneak peek of the landscaping, this blue spot right here, this blue dot that you see, or these photographs here. One looking toward the east, and then this one's looking toward the north. So we have a nice selection of water-wise plants that will really soften the space, create a nice buffer, and pleasant experience for people who are in the park. And yes, good question.
When you're done, I'll make
Okay.
sure.
Yes, and then along the front, there we just have some more landscaping. This wall is not quite finished with paint, but it'll have another texture or color combination on the front of it as well.
Are there lights in the courtyard area?
Parking lot lights
Or inside the?
inside
Yeah,
here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, so inside this space, you see my cursor is, there'll be parking stalls inside of there for all of the vehicles and trailers that we use, and there will be a parking lot lighting inside of there. Yes.
So my question is, I know initially, we had talked about a mezzanine for all of the lights from the Christmas lights and that. So now what's the plan? Where are we gonna store those?
Yes, those will be at our Commons location, and I'll have some pictures to show you what we're thinking, but it
Okay.
will be all of the Christmas, our master plan for locating all of Christmas is to bring it more closer to Commons where
Okay.
it's it's more convenient and not as far to have to truck
Yeah,
everything.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a question, Joanne.
Yes.
So on the left picture here, that is the neighborhood on the other side, right? Do we know if there is anticipated like noise impact for those residents, or like things that may be going on in the bays at any given time? Is that something that we thought about? I just don't know what all is going to be done in there, but just thinking about the folks who are on the other side of that.
We did think about some of the equipment that would be noisy, and the compressor was one of those. It has its own individual room that will help keep that noise contained, so that will help considerably amount. And I think with the walls, that will also help, and then the landscaping will help soften or buffer the noises as well. But we hope to be very good neighbors, so if we hear that there's some suggestions we need to do, we'll definitely be responsive.
Thanks.
Well, there'll be very little activity in the evenings, right?
Yes.
When most people are home.
In concurrence with this project that we're doing, I wanted to highlight also the expansion of the parking lot just to the south of the park shop. And this is moving along quite rapidly. We have about 130 or 134 stalls that will be added, and they're moving really fast. They've got pretty much all of the flat work down, curb and gutter is in. I anticipate in the next couple of weeks we'll see asphalt put down here as well, and they are doing a wonderful job.
That's good. Because there's so many people that still park on the south side of Hillfield, walk across the street, even though there's a big red line. So this will be.
That'll never change because it's closed.
It's closer.
But also, a couple of weeks ago, my family and I, we went to play pickleball, and I'm driving and completely spaced that
You can't park
I
where you
can't
want.
park where I
Yeah,
want.
I know.
Yes.
So we went back around, parked in the other, and had the nice long scenic walk. So, yeah, I'm excited for
Yeah, and pickleball is
2 to 3
waiting for
weeks
this
down the
one.
road.
Yeah, it'll be a very nice addition, and
Mhm.
very convenient.
Yes.
Okay, let's hop over to comments. So this is just a reminder of the plan, or this first phase here at Commons. We have an enclosed cold storage building, also very similar to the one that I just showed you at Ellison. A little narrower, but still has a lot of capability. We have a greenhouse that'll be coming and a small little potting shed. And then the whole yard itself, we're very excited and glad to see this opening up for the functional use of it and being able to easily get around and have a place for everything. This is our soil base area, and then this is for future canopy parking. Right now, this one's not as far along as Ellison, but it's moving. I have some pictures of what is done. This is the enclosed storage building. You see that yellow block down there, that's what this picture is. So inside, that's another view of what this one looks like. And this space over here, it has shared purposes. It'll also be for recreation, to be able to store items that are associated with Fest or Liberty Days, anything that really is right next to the Commons Constitution Circle area. We'll also be putting some amphitheater storage in here, the bleachers and risers. That will help, and then this will also serve as cold storage with anything that museum related that doesn't need to be heated. It will be there, and then it also will be where we can put some annual Christmas sliding storage.
Especially during the first few seasons, before we get to the final phase of development, this will be critical to the storage of animals. This was nice.
And that blue block right there, that's just the concrete pad that's now been poured for the soil base area. So right now, their next steps at this location is they're working on the greenhouse preparation and putting in the rest of the wall around the perimeter. You've probably noticed that the wall's coming along and slowly getting, or almost done with that, actually.
How wide is that? Oh, there's,
You
can't see it. Does it say 21?
Look at the outside number right there.
26.
26, okay.
Here's a plan view of the storage as well, so you see there's lots of different types of shelving along the edges and areas for parking, carts as well. And that's all I have for today. But
So you're building a new greenhouse, are you still gonna be using the existing one that's tucked back in the corner, or will that go away?
it's gone, it's been demolished. We were
Oh,
able
I didn't
to,
even notice.
we were able
Sorry.
to work, we used it till May and got our flowers
Yeah.
Yeah.
grown, and then it was demolished, and that'll be our new greenhouse. Are there any questions?
Not a question, a comment. This is really well done. It was a presentation for sure, but the well thought out. I remember when we talked about this and approved it, I don't know, in my head, it was soil bays and
Just a building.
mowers.
Just a building.
This is not what, so it's amazing that you took that space and are doing what you're doing with it. I just commend you for doing this, and it's gonna help into the future. So thank you. I can't wait to see when it's all finished.
I know someone that said they may be disappointed because they thought that was some sort of shopping going in bed.
There's gonna be a park, there's gonna be a shop,
No, it's a
It's a
park
sports
shop.
store.
concessions
There
and
we go.
stuff, but.
Yeah, well, I just want to also know Ryan and Jay aren't here, but they've been very critical in helping us and understanding what needs are and build out, and so they've been a very active part as well, and they couldn't make it tonight, but I want to make sure that they're recognized.
And the entire parks crew, as we've gone through these deviations and changes in the design, that we've invited all of the park staff to come in and help us with this. And so this is near and dear to their hearts. And
So I have one more question.
please,
So our flags, I know that that is something that's brought out and taken care of throughout the entire year. Where are those gonna be stored then? Where are you anticipating that?
Probably, I don't know, they haven't thought that yet, but it'll be somewhere logical where they
Well,
live.
Okay, we gotta take care of him, I mean,
And
he's
the
done
flag,
a heck of a job.
the
staying
nice
on
thing
top of
about the
that.
flags,
Yes.
it's not very big.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it doesn't take much,
you
but
can
I'm
put
just
100
thinking
flags
access
in a-
for him.
There'll be
Yes.
plenty of space, I'm sure he could stake out his area, and everyone will have a space for everything.
Yeah.
Make
So
sure you
all
take
the-
care of him.
All the fleet, the parks has different fleet than Public Works. Public Works has their own shop, own mechanics, own fleet, so this is just for your guys' stuff.
and
I'm sure they'll share.
For
if
sure,
they have
vehicles.
to.
Some vehicles.
Yeah.
we are, on behalf of the entire parks crew, we wanted to let you know how much we appreciate this. That your support and help has made this something that we'll be able to use for the next 30 to 50 years. And we hang on to things for a long time in parks. And this is going to make our work much easier, safer, and more efficient. So we're grateful.
Oh, yeah. Being able to not have to drive, it'll save a lot of time too,
Yeah.
because of taking your mowers all over Europe and everything. I sat in on one of your work meetings, and it was refreshing to hear you guys run the show, telling them, no, if you're gonna do that, then what's gonna happen, why isn't, you know? And so when I left there, I thought, you don't need to worry about anything. Joe's in there, so we're not.
They know their business.
They do.
They know their business better than the
Yeah,
architects.
sure. Yeah.
So we've been thankful to have their help all the way.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming, and now that it's here, it's gonna be a great thing for the city, period.
Sorry, so, bottom line then, what's the anticipated
Finish date?
finish date or occupancy date?
Occupancy, we're shooting for the end of December,
Okay,
but
Wow.
the.
Christmas, Merry Christmas.
It's our Christmas present.
Yes. Very appropriate.
Or New Year's, either way.
Yeah, we're hoping for that.
I will add one other thing. I've had more comments than anything I can remember about the valley, the new valley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, when did they do it, you know, I mean, it's like, it's just been amazing.
Seems like it's been there for forever as
Well,
well. That's the way it was
and,
placed.
yeah, if you come here, you wouldn't know, but, I mean, people are going, oh, can we rent that? And I go,
Yep.
well, if you're a Layton resident, not if you're from another city.
Can't for a small.
Yeah, it just costs more.
It's a fee.
Yeah, no,
Just gotta pay
one city we don't.
$20 a table.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
all right, well, thanks, you guys, we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually have some time, does anybody else have anything they wanna talk about or bring up?
I'll mention, we talked about it earlier, if that's okay, just,
Sure, yep.
last council meeting, we had 4 young ladies, women, who came in and spoke about their concerns down on the crosswalk on Parkway
Right.
200. So we had a chance to talk to them after the meeting and suggested that they give some time for the staff to coordinate with the district and to identify the safe schools route and get some facts and figures together, and then we would reach back out to them. So we've done that. Sunburst, as some of you had looked that night, didn't have their adopted plan up on. They've had some transition in staffing there, and so it kind of fell through the cracks. So we've encouraged them to do that and provide a little bit of knowledge about how they've been done in the past. They have put that plan together expeditiously, and it's been approved by the district and then sent to UDOT. They control that, and that should be, I didn't check myself, but was told that would be up and functioning. It's similar to what it has been in the past, which is to direct the kids north, cross on the east side where there's an existing crosswalk for those lower subdivisions, and stay on the east side until you get to the crossing guard that goes into the subdivision. So we have scheduled, the staff will be meeting with, we reached out to Amanda, who is the main spokesman person, and there's a meeting scheduled on Monday where some of our staff will sit down with them, and we've invited anybody that wanted to come from the neighborhood, if you will, and talk through the safe school route, why it's important, how it's determined. We've also, we'll share with them the surveys that we've done in the past, and in fact, the timing was we were just within a few days of completing another survey that talk about speeds and volumes, and so we'll mention that to them as well. It doesn't qualify for the lights and those things, but we will continue to do that. And then just hopefully be able to have a good discussion about, this is a evolving process, but there are ways that we can do, the approach we're taking here, proposing to take, which is what is the standard, has been in effect along that entire corridor. If you're looking at all the crossings, if you're going east on the Parkway, there are several crossings that are very similar to this, that were like this initially, and that have four-way stops as opposed to lights, etc. Some have guards, some don't, etc. So we'll walk through those and the logic behind why this one is here and that one is different. And then really the main thing was just to try to, through that education and feedback back and forth, is find a way, let's all work together on identifying what's the safest route, and then drive all the narrative to do that for the kids, so we don't have certain kids or certain families that are promoting, well, I'm going to go this way, even when everybody's saying this is, the other way is a better route. And we're confident they're both also good, brilliant people, but just wanted to give you a feedback on that, and hopefully we'll just move progressive and not have people putting themselves at risk and trying to get in the middle of the intersections and so forth.
Well, the more they know, the better it will be. And it's nice that you involve them so that they can see and hear and not not just make up their own minds and say, well, so that's a good thing.
So just an FYI on that.
Thank you.
The only other thing that I was thinking of that if you guys could, I know last time we had an update on the young, or on some purchase, some ground. There's been some development on that, so I think we need to have another meeting. Strategic planning, so I was wondering when you guys would be available to do that. I know know, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Tyson, I think, didn't you say you're gonna be gone? You'll be out of town at our next scheduled council meeting, board meeting, right?
Possibly remote.
Yeah, so, I didn't know if you guys had some time where
Is
we
there
could
a certain
schedule-
amount of time we have to give?
No, I'm just saying that,
You're saying
You know.
notice before we? have a
Notice,
public meeting?
yeah. It's not gonna be a public meeting.
no, but we need to notice all of our meetings, so I'm just saying that.
It is.
It's a public meeting, it's just not a
If-
council
Oh,
meeting.
well,
Yeah,
I thought
when
it'd
we-
be,
so we could-
I thought the last one was closed door. Evidently not.
For strategic meeting, planning?
No,
Worded that wrong.
never mind.
Okay.
I don't wanna say.
So just clarification, so anytime you have a quorum, it's a public meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
And all closed door session meetings start out as public meetings. You have to have a public meeting to have a closed door session. Make sense?
Well, yeah, you just told me exactly.
Does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yes, sir.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
so I guess what I'm proposing is, can we pick a date and let's plan just a regular strategic meeting as well? I mean, maybe only plan an hour at the most, but any other topics, because I know that there's been other topics that's come up out there that we probably ought to talk about. And it's no secret, but I'll bring up, also, what's our position on dog parks and that too, so. That's what I'm saying, I think, we're at a point where I think we need to have an additional meeting.
Okay.
I've been cognizant of you guys' time and how hard it is to schedule meetings, so I'm saying, I'm asking you now, can we have one?
Yeah,
When would be a good
I'm
time?
open. As long as we have a public meeting before.
Do you have a suggestion? for the
Well,
date?
this is a 5-week month.
Fifth
Um,
Thursday, yeah, October 31st,
but-
7 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trick or treat.
I'd have to resign,
Come in
Yeah.
costume.
or not be able to go home.
I guess, I don't know if my question is similar to yours, but is it something that we think we can't do at one of the other work meetings? Like if the schedule for the work meeting is lighter, that we could discuss whatever needs to be discussed during that time? Or do we need to schedule an additional? And in addition to that, is there something that we need to discuss so that we can plan to vote on something within another period of time? Because that, to me, would make a difference too, of when we would want to schedule. If it's something that needs to be, the action needs to be taken by a certain period of time, then we need to make decisions quicker sooner than later.
There's probably a yes to that.
Yeah, I think it could work. I think the idea was to, at least as we've talked about it, we've had another meeting that the mayor referenced. And I think there was a desire to be able to come in some appropriate forum and explain their logic and reasoning and plans and so on and so forth. So part of the concern was in a regular meeting setup, would there be adequate time with other items on the agenda to get through that kind of a discussion, recognizing that they're asking for that opportunity to do that. They haven't put that together some, but reference that. So we don't know if it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes or what have you. So as we talked about, I thought it might be the safest if it was a separate meeting, not knowing or being able to predict accurately sometimes what's coming through and how long that will take. And we could get a situation where it could be addressed. But I don't think there's my sense, Mayor, is there's a desire to have that discussion, but I don't think there's a set time. I don't think this, has to be done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so forth. And I think you could separate too the public versus the private, the closed meeting. I don't think that those issues would have to be discussed per se, but it's more of an informational presentation, questions, discussion kind of an environment. I don't know if I framed that.
It's kind of hard.
Kind of like a presentation, but
Yeah.
not. I don't know.
So, back to the date, that's probably where we're at.
Would another Thursday evening work on the
do it on the 24th perhaps. I don't know if that, it's not Halloween, that the 4th.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does that work for you, you guys?
And I'll be out of town for work. Because we didn't have a council meeting scheduled, so.
Yeah.
What?
Well, could I propose that we do
I mean, I could join
choose one of
remotely.
the meeting times that we have set up already? And similar to the 47G, like we didn't really have
Yeah,
work meeting items. And so,
unless there's
We-
something that's like, yeah, I would prefer it on the same schedule.
you know,
And then unless we have a packed work set agenda that we can't get enough in, I would prefer it to be in
Yeah.
the meeting
I-
itself.
and if it doesn't need to be, like, we don't, again, there's been times when we've not had a work meeting, but we've had a council meeting because we didn't have work meeting items, so if there's no time frame necessarily put to this, if there's some things that we could maybe push to a different meeting, and maybe next meeting, instead of it being a work meeting, it could be whatever this meeting is, and then we have the council meeting after. I would just prefer time-wise to keep it in that schedule if possible. I mean, if not, of course I'll fit it in, but I would prefer that.
Yeah.
But if it needs to be a different type of meeting, I
Do you
think
guys
let's
feel like
do
there's
that.
other stuff though that you need to talk about aside from this? Do you, in other words, any type of a strategic meeting, do you feel the need for that? Because, I mean, I know I've kind of mentioned it before, and I mean, schedules have been extremely difficult to get everybody together, so that's why I'm bringing this up and saying, okay, what are some options here? Or, and I, like I said, I just knew that Tyson wasn't here on the next council meeting, but certainly it doesn't prohibit us from doing it then either.
Mhm.
I say we do this one, and if we need a strategic meeting, then we do the same thing we're doing now. Figure out when we can, you know, instead of trying to, you know, usually,
You're gonna drop it.
thanks. Usually when we do something like this, we have the parks people come in to do the work meeting, because we always push them off.
And we gave them all the time tonight,
Yeah.
I mean, we
And
had
got
time.
30
Yeah, they
minutes.
got their time.
Would the 7th work for that? We shot for, Ms. Tyson, you're gonna be gone on the 17th, right?
Sure. Yeah, and if it's best on the 17th, if it needs to get done sooner, I know I can be remote
I
for
think
the, for the work meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, I think the 7th would work. But you, Mayor, based on
I'm
the
just-
conversations.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just teeing it up and felt like, you know, we need to, I think that, you know, we learned some good information that needs to be shared, for sure. So that's why I'm saying, okay, this is something that I want to make sure all of us are aware of and understand the full plan. Okay, so bottom line is, we'll shoot for November 7th. But if our agenda's very light on the 17th of October, I'd say we maybe do that, knowing that Tyson can be available for the work meeting easily. And we'll do so remote then, right? We'll just see what the agenda looks like. Is that probably the best way to handle it? So we can give the time necessary?
Yeah, that'd be fine. We'll shoot for that and see what comes through.
Okay, all right. So will work.
Say, you got 20 minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anything else you guys want to share?
Alex, there was some discussion, I think, from the school district, they had that forward brief that they sent out.
Uh-huh.
Was there any more information that they shared with you about kind of the purpose of that, or was it just kind of?
Yeah, a little bit. There was a misunderstanding. They were apologetic about that, and I think we're good.
Okay.
And there was actually a visioning meeting that took place today, and some of our staff went down, it's still quite premature in the process of developing. There's been a series of more additional site visits, and we have suggested that, again, it's all tentative, obviously, until you guys make a decision and you have the facts, the information to get the decision. But in discussions we've had with the administrator down there, we've suggested that we start sooner rather than later, assuming there will be some kind of a structure that will be created, to try to work through at least the high points of the framework of a MOU with regard to usage, and they concurred with that. So they have offered to take a first run at that, and then to send it to us for comment or additions or deletions. So they're very aware of the process that we're hoping will be followed, and they concur with that in terms of the respect for that process and for each entities to make their own decisions and so forth, and to have transparency in that, and understand it's a work in progress. So that's a little bit of a general statement, but we feel fine about it. And like I said, they were apologetic about it, and I said it's fine. We'll just work through it. I mean, it's happened, and we'll work through it. And the main thing, let's keep moving forward and see where it ends up. And they asked me whether there was any need to come and make some kind of a formal comment to the council at a formal meeting. I said no. I don't think that there's not that expectation. I said these things happen. Let's just move forward, and the key will be to work through the details and then make sure we get that to them. And the same thing with their board. So I feel good about it.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Question, to bounce around a little bit. With the LDS Temple being fully operational for the last 90 days or
60.
60? How many? I don't know. The traffic situation there, have we thought we were going to maybe at a certain point reevaluate that area there with across the street with the three lanes, and then I hear that people are using the chapel across the street from the temple, cutting through there to go back up Oak Hills because of that intersection there. Just wondering if we're ready to do some sort of a traffic study, or I know UDOT's part of that as well.
Yeah, UDOT controls that. That's a good question, Clint. I have not heard from any of our people that there is an issue or is creating there's a safety issue or any kind of issue, flow issue being created, but I have not asked either, so I'll make a note and do that. And we can certainly be prepared to put together a presentation or have them come and make a report to you on this is what we're seeing or not seeing. Steve's walked out. Steve may have had that off the tip of his tongue, but
Probably does.
But,
and knows what it is.
And the count.
And the count. Yeah, just I've had a couple of inquiries about that.
Yeah.
were there concerns? You don't
Yeah,
have to
just concerns of
articulate
the,
specifics, but
the concerns of turning, I guess turning left, going back up, crossing, people coming from Gentile onto East Gentile, not having enough room. Because there's 3 lanes and they're really, you got to turn lane this way straight and then right, and they're really narrow. So, okay, that's good. Question.
Haven't had this much time in a long time.
I know.
Furthermore.
I was gonna say, we can adjourn, you guys,
Is it Jack in the Box?
but at the same time, I'm saying, hey, bring up what you want. I mean, now's the time to do it.
Just a map on the
I
west
bring
side.
all my stuff up during the break.
Handing out 2 Jack in the Boxes. Check.
How's your tennis court?
Good.
Do you guys have anything? 'Cause if not, then I'm gonna call for a motion to adjourn our
work meeting. I move that
So-
we
so
adjourn.
what?
So moved.
So moved.
It's open.
Okay. All right, this concludes our work meeting for tonight, and we'll give ourselves a 15-minute break before we convene on time for our council meeting, 7.
One step closer to law school, Dave.
I was
Okay, you want to take your seat? Welcome everyone out to our Layton City Council meeting this evening. It is October 3rd and our start time is 7 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and as customary, we do like to start with a pledge and a prayer, or a prayer and a pledge, and we change it out each month. So we have a new month, and tonight this portion of our meeting will be conducted by Councilmember Bettina Smith Edmondson. So, time's yours.
Thanks. So I'm going to do the prayer first, and then we can do the pledge together. So if you'll bow your heads. God, we thank you for this night. We thank you for another opportunity to come to the city and do the business of the city. God, we thank you for all of the staff that works so tirelessly to put things together for us and to make sure that things run as the city should. We thank you for our first responders. We thank you for our volunteers. God, we thank you for the residents of our city, even those who are here on tonight, who want to come and learn more about what's going on and who want to exercise their right as residents of Layton to be a part of what's happening. We ask that you look on the council members and the mayor tonight, all of us who have decisions to make. God, I pray that you will give us clarity of mind and help us to lead with heart, but also with knowledge and intelligence, and to do all of these things according to your will. Please bless us to have an excellent meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You'll stand and repeat with me the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Council, we have 4 sets of minutes that need to be accepted. If any of you have any corrections, please make that known. Otherwise, I'd look for a motion on the minutes. And if you could, go ahead and read the date and the actual meeting that it pertains to. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes of Layton City Work Meeting, July 18th, 2024, Layton City Council Meeting, July 18th, 2024, Layton City Council Meeting, August 15th, 2024, and Layton City Council Work Meeting, September 5th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, very good. It's been moved in second that we adopt the minutes as written. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. We'll now go on to our municipal announcements. So council members, any of you who have any of the announcements you wish to share with the public, please do so now.
Madam Mayor, Parks and Rec has some activities coming up. On the 18th of this month, we'll have the Halloween Bash. It's always a good event here on the Amphitheater Plaza. Bring the family out, lots of different games, food, events to celebrate Halloween. And
to dress up?
What's that?
Dress up?
I think it'd be a great idea to dress up. Yeah.
I think the Rotary's bringing their train as well.
They are.
So.
Great.
Okay.
Train rides for a fee or
$2.
Yeah. $2. Okay. Very affordable. Kids love that. The next night is going to be a fall fest in Constitution Circle here, similar to fest that we host on Friday evenings all summer. Lots of food trucks, vendors, activities, live music, and storytelling. So bring the kids out and bring the whole family out. So thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm sorry, not Constitutional Circle. That'll be in the same area on the Amphitheater Plaza.
Okay. Anyone else have any messages? Go ahead.
I didn't lie. I just didn't have my dates, my facts yet. But On Pitch Performing Arts is having their annual Villains Family Fair, where they have the Disney villains and they dress up and they're at their location. It will be on October 12th, and it will be from 5 to 7 p.m. I think it is. That's free. And then they also have a family-friendly concert that will be right after that if you want to stay for that. And those tickets are $5, and they're at 587 North Main Street in Layton. And that's the Performing Arts Center here in the city.
Okay, very good. Dave, do you want to report on the Arts Council's active pages? Or do you want me to? Okay. Well, in addition to on performance or performing arts, on pitch, sorry. So the Davis Arts Council also has a Halloween program on the 12th, which they do the kind of like the haunted tour where they go down through behind the city park here, and they have different stations where they tell the stories. And so that is going to be on the 12th. And I know that they have 2 different times, and you have to go onto their website in order to book a time, but it's free. So it's free to everybody, but make sure you kind of reserve your time for that. And it's a fun event. And I do believe the Rotary Club will be selling hot chocolate if it's cold or root beer if it's warm. So that also will be taking place this month. Okay, that's okay. Got you. I got your back. Okay, if there's no other municipal announcements, then I will move on to item number 3 of our agenda item, which is a verbal petition and presentation. And tonight, we're very excited to be able to recognize one of our, I'm going to say, famous citizens within our city. And so with that, we do have a proclamation. And we'd like to acknowledge Courtney Wyman. So, Courtney, would you mind coming up and standing over here just so people know who we're talking about? Yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and read your proclamation. And it says, whereas the steeplechase originated in Ireland in the 18th century, where horses and riders raced from one town church steeple to the next. The steeple was used as a marker due to the visibility over long distances. Along the way, runners inevitably had to jump streams and low stone walls separating the states. And whereas Courtney Wayment, formerly born and raised in Layton City, attended North Layton Junior High, Northridge High School, and Davis High, where she excelled in cross-country, track, soccer. And whereas Courtney, being an American track and field athlete, believes in sacrifice, hard work, discipline, and dedication. And whereas Courtney won the 2015 State Cross Country Championship, setting a new record. She also won the 2015-2016 Utah Women's Cross Country Gatorade Player of the Year and a 3-time Utah High School Athletic Association state champion. And whereas Courtney attended and graduated from Brigham Young University, where she won 4 National Collegiate Athletic Associations, otherwise known as the NCAA, championships, and was an 8-time first-team All-American and set the NCAA D1 steeplechase record in 9 minutes and 16 seconds in 2022. And whereas she is a professional runner and has qualified as a 2-time World Championship finalist for Team USA and was on the Olympic finalists and was an Olympic finalist at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And whereas Courtney competed for Team USA in the 3,000 meter steeplechase at the 2024 Summer Paris Olympics, finishing 12th with a time of 9 minutes and 13.6 seconds. And whereas Courtney has the 4th fastest time ever ran by an American in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. Whereas Courtney represents not only herself, her family, the schools she attended, but also the community of Layton City. And whereas she is the daughter of Mark and Becky Wayment, who were members of the cross country and track and field teams at Weber State University. Her father also competed in the steeplechase and was a two-time All-American. He was introduced into the Weber State Athletic Hall of Fame in 2000. Yeah. So now, therefore, I, Joy Petro, Mayor of Layton City, along with your Layton City Council, do hereby proclaim its recognition of Courtney Wayment and call upon all of the citizens to congratulate her and her accomplishments and representing our city of Layton. So with that, I give you the seal of Layton on this day of October 3rd, 2024. So. We do have an official printed copy that I will leave with you, but I think, Courtney, all of us here just want to, hear your experience and understand what it was like. And I think you can see by the photo that we have up there that this was very instrumental. We appreciate you being the first here in Layton that we've been able to acknowledge as an Olympian, and certainly the inspiration you give to all of us in setting out a goal and going after your dreams. So on behalf of Layton and the council, I know each one of these guys will want to kind of give their own thank you as well, but I just have to personally say thanks. We appreciate that. And the beauty was we were able to use our brand new pavilion out here in Layton's Common Park as the first watch party. In addition to that, I have to give credit to our IT department, because on a quick notice, they were able to figure out how we could live stream in there, put up a great sound system, and it was just a great event. So I know now Layton City is prepared for any watch parties for the 2034 games, because we also have heat in this building, even though it's an outdoor venue. So with that, Courtney, would you mind just taking a moment and sharing maybe your experience and what you would like all of the residents to know here? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the Olympics was an incredible experience, but while that is the pinnacle of my career, my sports in general, and being an Olympian is an incredible title, that's not where it started, and it's the pinnacle of athletics, but I wouldn't say it's the pinnacle of my life. I was raised in Layton, went to Mountain View Elementary, and I dreamed just as much as any other little kid that loved sports. And the dream started really young. I remember being in junior high and telling my mom and dad one day that I was going to be an Olympian. And I didn't really know what that meant. I just know that that was the dream. And getting there was a long, hard road. I think that's something that everyone can relate to. In college, I had a lot of different injuries. I attended, even before then in high school, I attended 2 different high schools, and that transition was hard. And I transitioned from playing soccer full time to running track and cross country full time. And there were a lot of sacrifices made on behalf of myself. I know my mom and dad made a lot of sacrifices for me so that I had every opportunity I could have to even achieve the dream of, or chase the dream of, All-American, NCAA champ, collegiate record holder, and Olympian, a finalist of all the things. And I've had a lot of good people in my life. So standing here with you guys today, I really appreciate it. And I hope you know that the support is so felt. Getting pictures and seeing the comments or messages. And although I might not get to every one of them, the support is incredible, and it truly does take a village. The experience is unlike any other. You hear a lot of different stories of people that persevered through a lot of hard in order to chase the dream and then obtain the dream in Paris. I was very fortunate to be able to meet a lot of people, to hear a lot of different stories. And the one thing that I think everyone has in common is the belief. And it's very powerful. And to have people that sit here that I may never have had any experiences with you guys or conversations or personal relationships, but the fact that any of you have had any sort of belief in me propels me. Because if you believe in me, why can't I believe in myself? And I think that's something that I have felt all growing up through Layton City, at North Layton Junior High. All of my coaches, teachers, everyone always believed in me. You know, I'm friends with half of the teachers that I had in junior high at North Layton, and they still send me messages and they do their own little watch parties. Same with at Northridge and, you know, that stuff. But because I've had a village, that's the only reason I've been able to get here. And the reason why I said earlier that it's not the pinnacle of my life is because it was such an opportunity and I'm grateful for it. And it's really cool walking into a stadium where 80,000 people are screaming their heads off. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't hear anyone. You look up in the stands and you see my whole family, you know, all of my siblings, my mom and dad. It's a very special feeling. You get the chills, you know, and you get to the start line and you're like, oh, I'm officially Olympian. It's really cool, but it takes a village. While I may be alone on the track, I'm far from alone. You can see it in the picture there. I'm far from alone. And so, yeah, the experience was incredible. And there's lots of other details, but I just wanted to give my thanks to everyone that has sacrificed and everyone that has believed, because without that, I would not be who I am or where I am. So thanks for recognizing me and having me here. Then hopefully we can continue this till LA 2028 and all the way to 2034 when we host. So yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for listening to my little story.
Okay. Well, thank you. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like you to come up and shake the hands and then maybe stand right here and then we can give you your proclamation.
Congratulations.
Maybe let's go down here. Okay. That's a big shot. Oh, take a picture. Yes. That's the cool part. I love that. You gotta be business now. We love it. No, you already wear a little bit of TUSA. Okay.
2,000 liters?
I just took like 5.
Thank you.
Smile.
Yeah.
Okay, council, do you want to make a quick comment or anything? You're more than welcome to at this time before we move on. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just congratulations. I mean, I have 3 daughters, and my son's playing a little flag football game for Layton, and there was a girl he was playing against, and she was just kicking everyone's butt. And he was like, "We need a girl on our team, Dad." And I'm like, "Yeah, we do." Well, my younger daughter would be the one that would want to be on the team. So the fact that you, you know, a Layton City girl, and you're also a Cougar, it's also a good check mark there. And I can point to my daughters to say, there's someone from Layton City who competed in the Olympics, was a finalist at the Olympics. I mean, that's just an amazing thing. So it's not just somebody on the screen with USA, it's someone who's USA that actually went to school here. So it's just awesome. Just congratulations. That's an awesome experience for you.
Add my congratulations also, not just being an Olympian, but the whole list of things, that your accomplishments leading up to it. Amazing. I'd love to reiterate what you said, it does take a village, and you're right. You're part of that village also, though. You look at that picture, and there was several track teams there and wearing their jerseys, and they're looking up to you, and it's awesome. So thanks you for what you do for continuing on what that village is producing. So congrats.
Okay. Courtney, I'll add my congratulations as well. I have my own daughter and 2 bonus daughters, our daughters-in-law, and they are strong, they're determined, they know what they want, they're going after it, and you were an example of that as well. And the future is so bright for you. And just appreciate the just glow of let's go, let's get this done. So thanks for being such a great representative of our city. Congrats again.
Well, I've already given you my congrats. And I just had to say, even though you had to change schools, I'm here to say go Knights. And I'd also say go Utes, but Yeah. Sorry.
No way.
Sorry, Dave. I had to.
No, it's fine. No, Go Knights is better than the other one. I'm sorry. I grew up here too, and good job.
Oh, that's from the former athletic department. Yeah, you're retired now from here.
In 9
Emeritus.
minutes, I bet I could get at least 50 yards. No, you won't.
Well, I just want to acknowledge the fact that the reason why we had to wait until now to even acknowledge it, even though I know this took place a couple of months ago, is the fact that Courtney's still been busy running and participating and competing. So the fact that she's, still an inspiration in the fact that you just don't stop. You keep going. Keep the energy going. That's what it's all about. So thank you for representing our great city of Layton. Okay. All right. Okay. With that, anybody else? If not, I'll go ahead and move on then. Thank you again. I'll now move down to our citizens comment portion of our meeting. So if there's any citizens here that would like to address this governing body, you're more than welcome to. Please note that we will not engage in any debate, but certainly if there's any concerns or issues that we need to be aware of, feel free to step up to the mic, state your name, and let us know what the situation is. Okay, seeing that there's none, we're going to go ahead and go on to our consent items, which is item number 5 on our agenda. We do have 3 consent items tonight. These items we can actually, once all are presented, then the council can actually go ahead and take action on the items collectively. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Joellen Grandy, who will be presenting our first item tonight, item number A, which is an agreement between Layton City and the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. So, yeah.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. This evening, we have the pleasure of introducing Resolution 2427. On March 27th of 2024, Layton submitted a grant proposal through the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation's Federal Highway Administration's Recreational Trails Program, where we requested funds to help construct the Case Creek Trail pedestrian overpass, which is proposed to span the width of the Union Pacific and Frontrunner Railway corridor and touch down immediately next to the Frontrunner station. The overpass will connect the east and west alignment of the Case Creek Trail Frontrunner station to the downtown area of Layton. On August 22nd, 2024, the city was notified that they had been awarded $150,000 through the Federal Highway Administration's Recreational Trails Program. A physical assistance agreement has been issued by the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation to formalize the awarded monies. This resolution if passed, will authorize the execution of an agreement between Layton City and the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation for funding assistance with the construction of Case Creek Trail pedestrian overpass. Staff recommends the council adopt 2427, authorizing the city manager to conduct negotiations and execute the agreement between Layton City and the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation for funding assistance with the construction of Case Creek Trail pedestrian overpass. I just have a couple photos. This is a site plan of the overpass. As you can see, we have stairs and an elevator that will provide ability to cross across the railway over to the west side with elevators and stairs to get down as well. We have a rendering here that shows the proposed design for the structure. And we also have a summary of our financial plan up to date. We've been able to gather a number of grants over the past couple years. And this last one is the second to the bottom that you see for Recreational Trails Program grant for $150,000. And that brings our total to date around $9 million, with 8.5 of that being secured with external funds. Are there any questions?
Council?
We don't, well, I will speak for myself. I don't have any questions, but I think I can speak for us when I say we're just amazed and grateful to you all and the department for going after, the money that you go after. I mean, to have a project that costs $9 million and the only internal funds we're paying here is $500,000. That's mind blowing. And these are all for projects that go to help for the quality of life of our city and our residents. And, this overpass is going to be very beneficial, for anybody who goes through there, whether it's for, recreational purposes or they're trying to get, wherever they're trying to get to and from. It's just the safety of it all and just helpful. So the fact that we're only paying this fraction of the total cost is just amazing. So thank you for your diligence. Thank you for presenting. You always present very well. Thank you for that as well. But yeah, I'm just in awe of how you all can find this money. But thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for changing it from a steeplechase to a 100-yard dash. Okay. So, and wasn't there something kind of funky about the stairs with bikes?
Oh, yes, there's a runnel that's included on the side. So it helps you to instead pack your bike up the stairs. And if that's what you want to do, you can roll your bike up the stairs. It's just like a little divot that you just roll it up.
Got its own luge.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Any other comments? Myself, I just got to say this is great because I do know that this shows the forward thinking on behalf of the city and working also with the developer on the west side, knowing that this is anticipated, that they've actually, that ground is set aside for where this will land. And the fact that it's part of our continuation of the Case Creek Trail. And hopefully someday we will have this trail that you could jump on it anywhere, but basically from out west by the lake, you'll be able to take this trail all the way up to the Bonneville shoreline. So, I mean, that's the neat thing about it. So, yes, you can create your own steeplechase along there if you'd like, but by the time you start at the lake and end up in the mountains.
Yes. So. I just also want to make a shout out to UTA as well. They have been a great partnership along with the Moda Apartments on the west side. We are grateful for their partnerships and being able to have a place where we can land. So, yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and move on then to item number B, which Mr. Chad Wilkinson will be presenting this item, which is an acknowledgement of a termination of an agreement between Layton City and with the redevelopment agency and JL Ventures LLC. So, Mr. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is a kind of a continuation of our discussion in the RDA meeting. The agreement that was applicable here for the extension of Fairfield Road was a two-part agreement. There was a part of the agreement that applied to the redevelopment agency and a part that applied to the city. So this is that city portion of that agreement. It's necessary for both the city and the redevelopment agency to acknowledge and terminate that agreement. Again, as was stated in the RDA meeting, that improvement has been completed. The reimbursement for that improvement through tax increment financing has been completed, and all these things have been done. The developer is now asking that that be taken off as an agreement, taken off the title, so they can try to clear up some of those title issues before closing on some loan money for this development. So with that, as we did with the RDA meeting, we are asking the council and recommending the council approve resolution 2426 that will acknowledge, which is the acknowledgement of termination of the agreement between Layton City Redevelopment Agency and JL Ventures LLC. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, council, I know we had a chance to discuss this earlier, but do you have any additional information or concerns? Okay, very good. I know you're up on item number C, so go ahead and take away item number C.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This next item is a fairly straightforward subdivision amendment. This is located at 2068 East, 2900 North. You can see in the red asterisk the approximate location. I'll zoom in a little bit now. You can see Highway 193 running kind of through the center of the picture here. This is the subject parcel located in red. Again, just an aerial photo with some additional context and details there. Keep this pretty brief because it's pretty straightforward. You can see all of these lines on this map that I'm circling right now are easements that apply to one of these parcels. You've got lot 1 and lot 59. The applicant has requested this amendment in order to combine these parcels simply because it's been very difficult for them to develop on the lot with all the easements on. There's very little opportunity to develop a single family home there. So rather than doing that, they're going to request that these lots be combined into one so they can use that as yard area and some space for an additional accessory structure. So this has been reviewed by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission has recommended that the council approve the amended plat for Valley High Phase 4, and happy to answer any questions if I can.
Any questions?
Just curious, on the other side of the street, didn't we combine as well, or do we separate? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, there was an adjustment here as well. Yeah, it wasn't a combination, it was a little adjustment.
We had to, did something.
Yeah.
Just
My question would be, in combining these, would that make this property eligible for, I mean, you mentioned like an accessory structure. Would that include also an ADU?
Sure. Yeah, they could, in accordance with the ordinance. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they would have enough space to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, they would.
That's a good thing. Okay. Any other questions?
school.
Yeah, there's your elementary. All right. See, you're involved in all the action tonight. Okay, well, that wraps up our consent items tonight. So, council, I'll bring it back to you to take action on the consent item. And if you could, please state the resolution number or whatever its reference is. So, I need somebody to take some action.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt consent item A, resolution 24-27. Consent item B, resolution 24-26. Does that need to include the property? What did we do? What did we add in the other one? Property descriptions?
Description.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good catch.
Resolution 24-26, including the updated property descriptions, and item C, amended plat, Valley High Phase 4.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved in second that we accept or adopt all the consent items as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. That pretty much concludes our council meeting for this evening. I don't believe we have any unfinished business here to present. So with that, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So what? I make a motion that we adjourn.
else.
Okay. All right. I'll acknowledge that motion at this
Okay.
time and thank everyone for being here. A special thanks to the Wymont family and for, I guess, your sister, right? Yeah. Nice to acknowledge you and your friend. Thank you for being here with her. We appreciate it. And again, thanks for being a beacon for our city. Good night, everyone.
See you.